Welcome to Fab Talk with Trish M, prophet, pastor, teacher, CEO of Trish M Enterprises, author, wife, mother, and your podcast host. If you're ready for the word, the way, and the truth, then this podcast is for you. Get ready for another level in the things of God, motivation, inspiration, and empowerment that's going to catapult you to new dimensions. Hold on tight. It's time for Fab Talk with your girl, Trish M. Fabulous ladies, it's your girl Trish M, and I'm super excited to share with you that our Circle of Fabulous Women's Retreat is here. It's coming soon. We need you to mark your calendars, save the date. This 4-day, 3-night retreat is everything that you need. June 3rd through the 6th, we're heading to Gulf Shores, Alabama for a time of refreshing, empowerment, being pampered, girl talk sessions, pajamas, parties, shopping, you name it. This retreat is exactly what you need. So, again, mark your calendars and save the date, June 3rd through 6th. We are heading to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and our venue will be staying at the Embassy Suites. And your registration is going to include your swag bag, your Circle of Fabulous Women journal, your empowerment sessions, your dinner for the pajama party, and the refreshments for it. It's going to include your t-shirt. And guess what? We're going to do a photo shoot on the beach. Yes, girl. Photo shoot. Your registration includes your photo shoot. And during that photo shoot, we're all going to wear our t-shirts that come with your registration. And the theme is t-shirts and tutus. Okay? It is going to be on and popping. So look, this is what we need you to do. Register. The link is below. The link is below this message. Check out the website, www.cfwretreat.com/2026. It's on. It's popping. It's our time. Let's get registered today. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. I pray you're having an amazing day today. Y'all know what time it is, right? It is time. It is time for Fab Talk with your girl, Trish M. I'm super excited. It feels like forever since I've been live, but I know we only missed maybe a week or two or something like that. But we're back, okay? Your girl is back, and I am ready to give you some amazing things that we got going on right here in the boutique. And so do me a favor. Share this broadcast, start a watch party, let your girl from another world, your boy from around the way, let them know that your girl Trish M is live with the Faith and Fashion segment on my podcast, Fab Talk with Trish M. If you have not subscribed to the Fab Talk with Trish M podcast, what are you waiting on? Apple Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, look us up and don't just subscribe, rate, review, give us a 5-star rating. We got amazing things that we're doing in this season, powerful words that we're sharing. And so we want to connect. Okay. Thank you, Instagram, for tuning in. Facebook, YouTube. I see y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. You know, I give you the good that's in the hood, everything that we got in the boutique. I'm trying to share because sharing is caring. We give you the good that's in the hood, the new that's in the boo boo. And then we don't stop there because we know that it's not enough to look good on the outside, but we give you food for your soul that's going to make you whole. That's right. We give you the word, the way, and the truth, the real deal, Holyfield, something to empower you and catapult you to a new level in who God has called you to be. All right. So let's talk fashion. You can shop all the looks at Trish M Boutique at shoptrishm.com. And so I'm just going to share with you a new arrival that's in the boutique that I absolutely love. Like the material, this crinkly, flowy material. This is our Spring Fling Maxi, and we have it available in the khaki that you see me wearing and in the chocolate brown. The chocolate brown is so yummy too. And I'm rocking out in a size medium large, just a little oversized, so you can size down in it if you like. I'm rocking out in a medium large, and you guys know that I'm a size like 10, 12. And so if you're 10, 12, you can rock out in the medium large, okay? And so that large, extra large is going to fit up to like a 16. And so, yeah, make sure to shop this look. The khaki is what you see me wearing, and the brown. So yummy. And I paired it with our wires cross earrings in the orange because I love a pop of color, especially it's getting warm outside. You know, that pop of color is everything. So these are our wires crossed. I'm rocking out in the orangey color because I think it looks really good with cream, with a khaki color. And then the Fabulous by Trish M earrings. And y'all look, I wanted to show these so shady earrings. Oh, the cream, girl. Can't tell me nothing, honey. Y'all better take a picture screenshot because these right here though help you get your whole life. Like it just speaks summer. It's it speaks spring. And it goes perfectly with the Spring Fling Maxi. Like, check me out, check me out. These sold out pretty quickly the last time we had them in. We may have a couple more left. But this is a cream color. It's not white. So I don't know if you could tell it on the live if it's creamy or whitey. But it's a cream color with the champagne lenses on the inside. And these are so cute. They're so yummy. And so check these out at shoptrishm.com. Again, these are so shady in the cream. Mm, mm. Wires crossed in the orange. Spring Fling Maxi. This is a new arrival. Check it out at shoptrishm.com. And remember, with all the looks of the day, you can use code FAB10 to get 10% off. All right. So that is the fashion. Let's get into the faith. All right. Let's empower. Let's grow somewhere. And y'all know that the faith segment is always based on a Trish M inspirational quote. And I got some stuff we're going to talk about today. So I hope y'all ready. All my note takers, I got my notes and I'm going to share with you. I hope y'all ready because it's that good in the hood. Okay. The quote that I put out last week was faith is a verb. Don't just believe it, do it. Hashtag move by faith. I believe that we are all in a season where God is challenging us to stretch out. God is challenging us to believe bigger, to do more, to not be so comfortable. We're not in a season where we should be comfortable as usual. We're in a season, there is like a urgency. I want to say is the word urgency in the spirit to be. There is an urgency in the spirit to do, right? Because if you look at everything that's going around, y'all should have been on my end times webinar where I broke down the book of Revelation and where we are right now in this season. We're in a time of of what we call it's a tribulation season, and the world is going crazy, but God needs his children to be stable and to not be afraid to stretch out, because I think the era of Christians is that we think we got time. We think we got time, and that we can just sit on something, and we could just let fear paralyze us, and we could just be in chill mode. But God is like saying, no, this is not that kind of season. It's not that kind of party. Like we have to be like the sons of Issachar. The sons of Issachar understood the signs of the times that they were in. And so I think Well, I know it's imperative that we understand the signs of the times that we're in. And this is where God is really pulling on us for more, for faith, right? For next level in who he has called us to be. And a lot of times we allow fear to hinder that. And that that frustrates God. And God is like saying it's time to not be so confounded by fear, but be moved by faith. I got to say that again. It is time like never before to be so, not to be so confounded by fear, not to be so bound by fear, but it's time for us to move in faith. It's time for us to stretch and be okay with the stretching. It's time for us to not be complacent with how we've always been, and because that's just not how God is operating in this season. There was a grace, and I will say that in previous seasons, but it's like that grace, we can't keep relying on grace, because at the end of the day, disobedience is sin. And so we got to be careful that when God is calling on us to be more, to do more, to say more, to become more, we have to take that urgency seriously. That grace can't cover everything. And you can't use the excuse that this is not, I mean, I'm just not used to this, or I'm scared of that. Like, like, like we're going to miss out on so much that God wants us to have. And believe me, I have to talk myself, talk to myself all the time and remind myself of where I'm going, like what I'm doing. Like God is stretching me so much this year that is scary. And when I say scary, not as scary that is going to create me, that is going to cause me to sit, right? No, 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 no. God, that scary is like a I don't know what to expect, but I trust God kind of moment, right? All I know is I don't know what's on the other side, but all I know is I start moving and operating in faith that provision is there, breakthrough is there, needs being met. All of that is going to be there, but I have to not allow fear to let me sit on who God has called me to be or what God has called me to do. And so it's like, okay, God, yeah, this is going to be powerful, but I cannot allow myself to get in the way of what you're trying to do in me, through me, and for me. Because so often we can get in the way of God. And God is like saying, no, 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 there was grace for that before, but now you just really you just you just choosing to be disobedient. And so let us not have that testimony, because let me tell you, just like God is stretching me in this season, I promise you, He's stretching you in some capacity. He's trying to take you to another level in some capacity, because He is not a respecter of persons. It's just that my stretching is a little different than your stretching, right? Like what God is calling us to do is different, but it's still a stretch. It's still a push. It's still a pull. And it's up to us whether we're going to be a yes and amen to what God is saying, or is we going to be like, deuces, now I'm going to stay and be comfortable. And so I feel it. I feel the stretch. I feel the nudge. I feel that there is a prophetic move like no other in this hour for the people of God to rise up and get in position to rise up and be who they're supposed to be. There is a prophetic push. It's like delivering a baby that, and anybody that knows that delivering a baby, if you've ever had your baby natural or begin to feel the birthing pains, the contractions, you know that that's painful. It's not comfortable to be in labor, right? But when we begin to push that thing out, we see the joy of what was in us from a push. And so I'm challenging you today. There is going to be joy after the push, but the push is uncomfortable. The push is hard. The push is you don't even know if you're gonna like the way the baby look when it come out, kind of push. But you push it because you know that it's gotta come out. And so that's the season we're in, and we cannot take that lightly. And so faith is a verb. Don't just believe it, do it. You have to move by faith. Here I got some points that I want to make sure I stay on track, because these are some very, very important points for the season that we're in. The first point is faith moves even when you don't see the outcome. I got to say that again. Faith will move even when you don't see the outcome of what faith will produce. So faith always often requires stepping before you see the results. I just share with you how God was challenging me to step into another dimension this year, and it's going to put me in different places and spaces and around different people. And being an introvert spirit by nature, I'm not necessarily comfortable with that. But faith will put me in spaces and places with people I don't know. Faith will require me to take the steps even when I'm not sure I'll have everything on the other side when I get there. It's called faith. And so we see in Hebrews chapter 11 and 1 that now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. But you got to have now faith. That means you have to do it now. You have to do it when God tells you to do it. 2 Corinthians 5 and 7, for we walk by faith and not by sight. I've preached this sermon before. I talked about how God told Abraham to leave his family, like leave all his daddy's people, leave them and go embark on something new. And I can promise you that was uncomfortable for Abraham. I know, because he still maintained a lot with him, but that's a story for another day. But when Abraham did this, he walked by faith, not knowing what direction he would go, but he did it because God said go. Genesis 12 and 1, it says, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land that I will show you. Abraham didn't just believe God. Y'all got to catch this by the Spirit. He packed and left. He didn't just believe God, but he packed and left with God. Come on, y'all. See, we got to understand that when we take those steps, we're taking them with God. Abraham decided to take a step away from familiar to he decided to take a step away from comfortability and take steps towards the unknown, but he had God every step of the way. God tells us, I've never left you nor forsaken you. And so you doing this, believe me, God is with you every step that you take. So Abraham didn't just believe God, he packed up and left with God, meaning that he allowed God to navigate wherever he was going to go, because God didn't give him a specific direction when he gave them the instructions. He just told them to go and lead your people to a land that I will show you. Well, when did God show it to him? Along the way. Along the way. So it's called blind faith. I'm just gonna take the step because God said it. That's all I know. And along the way, I'm gonna have support. Along the way, I'm gonna have provision. Along the way, something is gonna shift in my favor. Along the way, I'm gonna have the right connections. Along the way, God is gonna give me favor and bring me before great men. Along the way, see, along the way, Abraham became one of the richest men to walk the earth. Why? Because he trusted God. And along the way, the floodgates of heaven opened up for him. So much so that he had to tell Lot, look, we got too much. Like God done blessed us too much just off of faith. So you go one way and I go the other way because we're holding on to too much. And how did Abraham get to the point where he became so rich? So he had so much territory, so much cattle, so much gold and silver. He obtained it because he took steps toward it. Now, I'm not telling you that you take your steps that you're going to become a millionaire. I don't know what that entails for you, but I can say this. You taking the steps in the right direction will open up favor for you. Some of us just got to take a step in just being present and tapping into something new, something different, new job, new relationship, new friends, new, like some of us, you just don't know what's going to happen with that step. And so that's what happened with Abraham. He took a step and he became super rich. And then not only did he become rich, he became the father of many nations, that everybody now calls him the father in faith because of his step, because of his step in the direction of what God says. Faith means taking steps based on God's word, even when the destination is unclear. I just need a few steppers. That's what God is saying. I just need a few steppers that's gonna step with me, that know that every little step they take, I'm right there with them, and that I got their back, I got their front, I got their bank account, I got the divine connections, I got come on, y'all. God got us. So this is an empowering faith right now to move in it. The second thing is faith requires obedient action. Faith and obedience, they go together. To everybody, they go together. Hey, they go together. To everybody, they go together. Faith and obedience go together. They go hand in hand. They're in relationship. Like faith can't have covenant without obedience. They are intertwined, they are connected. And if you have faith without the covenant of obedience, you don't have a relationship with God, because faith and obedience push you in relationship, direct relationship with God. When I say you don't have a relationship with God, meaning that your faith and true trust in him isn't there. Now that don't mean you can't be saved, right? Now that's not what I'm saying, because some of y'all online, y'all try to dissect everything. I'm not saying that is you're not saved, but I'm telling you that faith without obedience take away that direct connect that you have with God in a way that is displeasing to him. How do I know that? Because God says in his word that faith without works is dead. And he said, and without faith, it's impossible to please me. And so we're putting ourselves in a position with our relationship with God where God can frown upon us not believing him. It can stir up the anger of God. And we don't want God to be mad with us because we scared. Like let's not do that. It's simple things. But hey, if you got a problem, God says without faith it's impossible to please me. So if it's impossible to please him without it, that means if I don't have it, I'm displeasing. Like y'all pretty smart out there, right? We could put two and two together and it's gonna be four. So it's like, okay, and that's one of my prayers, like, God, help me to be more pleasing to you daily, like to get past me so I could do you. And if I get past me so I could do you, I know that I can get favor from you. Yes, it might stretch me. Yes, it might make me a little uncomfortable. Yes, it might pull me out of a comfort zone that I have been in for umpteen years. But let me tell you something, because I want to be so pleasing to God, I'm willing to be uncomfortable for God, because I may be frustrated with me or not like the way that faith makes me feel, or stepping out and being strong makes me feel, but I love it the way it makes God feel, and how God will look at me because I chose to trust him and get past my little fleshy self, because my little fleshy self will be caught up in my emotions, be like, girl, I am just that's scary. I don't know if I'm gonna have the finance, I don't know if I'm gonna have the people, I don't know if I'm gonna have the resource, I don't know if I'm gonna get hurt, I don't know if I say the wrong thing. Like, get past you. That is the whole problem. God says those that come to him must come to him in spirit. You worship him, you commune with him in spirit and in truth. And then when we get caught up in our flesh, it's messing with our communion. When I say get caught up in your flesh, oh, I'm comfortable, that make me feel bad, or I don't like it, or that's flesh. And it's messing up with the direct communion that we have with God, because God says we got to come to him in spirit. But when we come to him doubting who he is, when we come, and that's really what it is, we're doubting that he's able to do what he could do. Like for us, like, is this gonna be good for me? I'm doubting that that's it, because I feel uncomfortable. And God is like, why would you doubt me? I've never left you. I've never forsaken you. I've always proven that I got your back. And yeah, I might allow you to be uncomfortable, but that's because I'm trying to take you somewhere. That's because I'm trying to grow you up in some things that will make you be better than you've ever been. And so we got to be okay with getting past our flesh, because flesh will take us out of spirit. And when we get out of spirit, we miss God. We miss the next move of God. James 2 and 17, how we say faith and obedience go together. Tell everybody they go together. Yeah. Uh, James 2 and 17, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Belief without action is an act of faith. Belief without action is a daydream. You over there daydreaming. I need you to wake up and do something with what you're dreaming about. Right? So we don't need daydreamers in this season. We need people that's willing to stretch out and be uncomfortable because we know that something greater is on the horizon. See, I love the idea of Noah. When God told Noah to build an ark before rain had ever happened, Noah just didn't dream about a boat. Listen, Linda, Noah didn't just dream about a boat. He built the boat because he understood that faith without works is going to cause him to be dead. No, for real, for real. Because just imagine if Noah had not built the boat when God said, build the boat, Noah, because the rain gonna come. Well, God, I'm scared because I ain't never did that before. What? Faith without works, bro, you about to die if you don't put in the work, Noah. Noah, you're going to be just like them if you don't put in the work. So Noah didn't just have faith and heard God say, build a boat. Noah put in the work to make sure that the boat manifested. Now, what did this cost Noah? A lot of time, a lot of attention to detail. It took him out of his comfort zone. How do I know that it took him out of his comfort zone? Because he ain't ever did that before in his life. Ain't nobody ever seen rain, and the people around him thought he was crazy. That, I promise you, made Noah real uncomfortable, because everybody looking at Noah like this man that lost his mind. But I'm telling you, when you are tapped into faith, you will be uncomfortable. You'll be okay with being uncomfortable and looking crazy to everybody else. Hebrews 11 and 7 says, by faith, Noah built an ark to save his family. You don't know what you're saving, who you're saving by opening up your mouth. You don't know who you're saving by doing what God told you to do. You don't know whose destiny is tied to your faith. You don't know the relationship potential that is connected to your faith, or the relationship that you could have just killed because you didn't have faith. Like Noah's faith saved his entire family. And not only did his faith save his family, his faith saved animals. Come on, y'all. And so Noah could have been like, yeah, I see it in the vision, God. You showing me this huge like thing to get in when the water come. But if Noah had not have had faith, he would have killed. It was a suicidal. He was preparing death for his own self without faith. And that's a hard truth, because you don't know what you're killing pertaining to your future if you don't step out on faith. You could be killing a relationship. You could be killing who God desired you to be when he wanted to put you in spaces and places, but you was too scared to say something. You could be killing a dream, a business, a book. I mean, you could be killing so much because you scared because you ain't never seen a boat before. Like, y'all better stop playing with God. We better stop playing with God. I ain't trying to play with God. I'm ready to be uncomfortable. And if I'm having moments where I'm trying to get out of being uncomfortable, God, show me. Take the scales off of my eyes so that I don't be that girl. Like, I don't want to be that girl. I want to be the girl that's bold and brave and faithful and just doing the most. The most of what God called me to do and not be ashamed. All right. The third thing, I gotta hustle this thing out. I hope y'all getting something. Y'all getting something. Talk to you, girl. Okay. The fourth thing is faith requires courage to step out. Courage is in opposition to fear. Fear will keep you complacent and stagnant. So faith pushes you outside of your comfort zone. It's supposed to do that. Like Like if you was comfortable, what we accomplishing? Nothing but your comfortability, which leaves us in the same place that you've always been comfortable in. And so I'm telling you, this is a move from God where God is calling us to another level of, guess what? Faith. All right. So a biblical answer when faith pushes you out of your comfort zone, it's Peter walking on the water. So we see this in Matthew 14 and 29. It says, then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. Here's the thing, Peter experienced the miracle because he stepped out of the boat, right? Like Peter could not experience that miracle if he had not taken the step, right? You don't know what miracle, what blessing, what you are about to, that one step manifested a miracle. Now, we do know that he got scared in the midst of that and began to sink because he took his eyes off of the miracle manifester. And so, what we don't want you to do is take that step and then get scared and want to go back. Listen, I've been there before. I took that step, got scared, and wanted to go back. And God was like, girl, what are you doing? Right? Because I told y'all, I started a business about 18 years ago. First year, $125. I took that step. I did it. Yay. Clap for you, girl. Woo, woo. And then when it only made that $125, guess who wanted to run back? Because the step produced the miracle, that's something that had never been done in my family, in my bloodline. And that was the miracle. I was happy with that. But then when it got hard, I wanted to go back. I took my eyes off the miracle manifester and I wanted to go back because I allowed flesh, yeah, that part of you to return back to that place that can't produce what God wants us to produce. And so Peter experienced a miracle because he first took the step. A lot of people pray for miracles while staying in the boat. They pray for miracles while staying in a safe place. They pray for miracles while standing in a comfort zone. You pray for a husband, but you stand afraid to say yes. You pray for a business, but you scared that you ain't gonna make money. You want freedom and healing, but you scared to open up your mouth and tell your testimony. Like, make it make sense. Like, we pray for miracles, but we stay in this. We want to stay in a safe place. We want to stay in a safe place that doesn't produce uh, discomfort. But the miracle is going to require discomfort. So faith says, if Jesus said it, that's it. Faith says, if Jesus called me out, I'm stepping out. Faith says, if Jesus said do it, guess what? Your girl gonna do it. Be like Nike. We just gonna do it. We're gonna walk on water till ain't no more water to walk on, you know? And the whole way we gotta pray, God, teach me how to keep my eyes on you and not on the circumstances. Because what had happened was the Bible talks about Peter seeing the effects of the storm. That means he saw the waves and all of that stuff, and he got scared. Like I saw the effects of stepping out on faith, and the effects was I wasn't manifesting that money, honey. Like, what they do that? Because I don't like this. So the effects of it can make you scared and create a paralysis. But God is saying, just keep going, just keep going. Like that movie Finding Nemo, just keep going, and it's gonna manifest. The fourth thing is faith acts immediately. Delayed obedience can kill faith momentum. Delayed obedience can kill faith momentum. Here's a biblical example. The woman with the issue of blood. In Mark chapter 5, 27 and 28, it says that when she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak. See, she didn't just believe that Jesus could heal her. She heard about him. That was faith. That encouraged her faith. And so she acted on what she heard. She pushed through the crowd so that she could just touch him. See, we got to understand that sometimes faith will require a press, and pressing through obstacles, pressing through situations, pressing through your own past, pressing through people that broke you, people that rejected you, hurt you, molested you, raped you, people that made you feel less than. Faith requires a pressing through the mess so that you can touch Jesus and be better than you were before. And so, yeah, press through those, press through all them people, all of them, make a move because you're trying to get to a better place. And the only way that you can truly get to that better place is you got to push some people out the way. You got to get them out your way. Okay. The fifth thing, faith moves even when you're afraid. Faith moves even when you're afraid. So faith doesn't disqualify, fear doesn't disqualify faith, right? Movement does. I got to say that again because I really, really want y'all to get this. Fear doesn't disqualify faith. Movement does. Fear can paralyze you and keep you from moving. But you can have fear and move in the midst of it so that you can get to faith. I tell people all the time, you can do it scared. That's how you beat faith. You do it scared. But if you allow fear to get the best of you, you will sit in a paralytic state, meaning that you cannot move because you let fear get the upper hand. But when you say fear, you are under my feet, I'm still scared because I'm human. I feel all the whatever it does, whatever comes with trying to start a business, trying to get in a new relationship, trying to write a book. I feel all of that. But instead of allowing fear to just stop me, I'm going to move in fear so that I can conquer it. And I can have the testimony that fear didn't cause me to close my mouth. Fear didn't cause me to start that business. Fear didn't stop me from stopping the business. Fear didn't stop me from getting into the relationship. Fear didn't stop me. Because when you can say fear stopped you, you didn't do it because you were scared, then that meant that you allowed fear to overcome you. But when you do it scared, you're crushing the head of the enemy because you have to understand that God said, I didn't give you a spirit of fear. I gave you a spirit that is filled with power, love, and a sound mind. So when you tap on the head of fear, you have to understand that you're tapping on the head of the enemy that is trying to keep you from the breakthrough of who God has called and destined you to be. So you got to remember that anytime you feel stuck and you can't move because you're scared, the anxiety and stuff, that's the enemy. The enemy loves that. He wants to see you in a paralytic state because he knows that that's the spirit that he gave you. It's not the spirit that God gave you. It's the spirit that the enemy gave you. And if he can keep you stuck on it, and he got you because he knows that he just changed your destiny. He knows that you what you had in you, if he stopped you from bringing it out, somebody wouldn't feel the freedom. Somebody wouldn't hear the testimony. Somebody wouldn't know certain things because fear stopped it. God said, I didn't give that to you. God tells us in Joshua 1:9, he said, be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. David and Goliath. I love this in 1 Samuel 17:45. David said, you come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord. See, David ran towards the giant. Fear would have stopped David, but faith made David move towards it. See, faith will propel you even when you're scared. Fear will stop you and make you tuck your tail and run. And so faith propelled David. David was like, I ain't even got a sword, but I got faith. I ain't even got something that I could swing at you with besides the word of the Lord. He was like, I ain't even got what you got. All I got is faith, and faith is much more stronger and much more powerful than any weapon that the enemy can come against you, because he knows that if you have faith, you are pleasing God. But when you don't have faith, it's like the enemy is like, if I could just stop her from moving, if I could just stop him from saying, if I could just stop her from becoming, if I could just stop them in their tracks. They don't realize how much more powerful faith is than the weapons of the enemy, because faith is the thing that will make you tell the devil, get thee behind me, because you will not stop me in this season. Get yourself out my face, because I'm still going to do what God told me to do. See, faith is more powerful than the enemy ever could. That's why he's always trying to stop you from having, guess what? Faith. That's why he's trying to stop you from having faith, because he knows the power that faith brings. That's why he's trying to stop you from tapping in, because he knows the power that comes from it. He knows what can. That's why the enemy could have stopped Noah from saving a whole generation. If he would have stayed in fear and not built the boat, he would have killed himself and the generation that was supposed to come behind him. But faith propelled him. Faith, faith manifests movement. Fear manifests paralysis. So David ran towards the giant, and all he had was faith. All he had was faith. Faith doesn't mean that you're not scared. It means that you'll move anyway. You'll do it anyway. And you choose to conquer fear by doing it in fear, but trusting God in the process of that fear, because you know that God didn't give you fear. The enemy did, and he's trying to stop you from something. Just think, why is the enemy trying to make fear come over me so strong when I'm doing something positive? When I'm doing something that could be a game changer, when I'm doing something that could be a difference maker in the earth realm, why would the enemy bring such a rush of fear? Because he knows the power that is going to come from you doing what you're doing. My God. And here's the sixth thing. Faith activates God's power. Faith positions us for God to move. It's the scripture in Matthew 9:29. According to your faith, let it be. God is saying, no, your future is on you. According to your faith, let it be done. According to your faith, according to your faith, according to your faith, be it unto you according to your faith. Not your mama faith, not your pastor faith, not your sister faith. Be it unto you according to your faith. See, God will allow movement when you move in faith. God will allow breakthrough when you move in faith. When you move in faith, you just cause things to move towards you for favor and for blessings and for breakthrough. But you got to first be the one to move in faith. And let me give you just some practical ways to move in faith while I close this thing out. How do I move in faith? Well, obey what God told you. Obey what God already told you. Stop waiting for new instructions if you haven't obeyed the last one, because that lets God know how much I can trust you. Second thing, take the step. Peter stepped on the water, and a miracle, he took the step and a miracle happened. Take the step and just see what happens, right? Faith rarely shows the entire staircase to you. Faith reveals itself step by step by step, right? And so you got to be okay with just seeing a few steps and not the whole staircase. 3, speak what God said. You have to open up your mouth and decree a thing. The Bible says that if you decree a thing, it shall be established. You have to open up your mouth and decree a thing by faith. By faith, let it be established. We had a prophetic move in church on this past Sunday, and the Lord put in my spirit to put some people on the spot and say, decree, prophesy to your future. Say what you want to see. Pray over what you want to see. And they had to boldly stand and decree a thing. See, faith moves by words as well, because you can decree and put things into your atmosphere and things can shift in your favor. Why would the enemy want you not to speak? Because he understands the power in your words. Go back to the word. There is power of life and death. Where? In your tongue. So if he could keep your mouth closed, he could keep the power from coming out of you. He could keep breakthrough from coming out of you. And so anytime you know that God wants you to say something and you don't say it, that's the enemy trying to keep your mouth closed. This is what we call in the spirit realm, and I teach on this, a python spirit. A python spirit, it goes around your neck and it tries to take away your breath. so you don't say it. And so that's what we call a python spirit that tries to take away your breath and take away your words so that you don't use the power that God has already given you. You got to command that spirit to loose its hold and declare that it is powerless, and that the words that God have given you are more powerful to achieve everything that you desire for it to achieve. And so when God says speak into the atmosphere and you can't open up your mouth, that's because the enemy knows that you're about to release power. You are about to release something that could change your destiny. And so the enemy is going to always do his job. The problem is, will you do yours? See, the enemy is always going to do his job to kill, steal, and destroy. You can count on him and all his demonic forces to do their part, because his job is to kill your words, steal your words, and destroy your words. Why? Because words manifest destiny. Words manifest power. Words manifest breakthrough. And so the devil's like, okay, God said decree a thing and it can be established. Well, let me make her close her mouth. Let me make her not speak to her destiny. Let me make her not speak over her children. Let me make her not speak over her. Because, yeah, if I could kill her words, if I can manifest a python spirit that'll make her gasp, I don't know what to say. I can't say it. I can't tell you how many times that I have asked God, when I don't know what to say, give me the words to say. Because what I'm not going to do is let the enemy take away my words, because I understand that my words have power. Power of life and power of death. If I want to cancel the assignment of the enemy on my life, on my children's life, guess what? I'm going to tap into the power of my words. I declare and decree that the enemy will not touch my children, will not touch me. I speak a prophetic shield of protection over my mind, over my body, over my feet, that every place that my feet trod, I am blessed and cannot be cursed. No witch, no warlock, no demon in hell, from hell, going to hell can stop what God has for me. Why? Because I'm tapping into the power. The enemy wants you to close your mouth because he doesn't want the power to come from your mouth. And when you feel like you are afraid to produce power, you got to understand that God already told you, I didn't give you that spirit. And so why are you allowing that spirit to rule and reign over you? Speak what God said. He said, you got power of life and death, use your words. I walk around my house all the time and I tell my kids, use your words, use your words. Use your words. Say what you mean what you say. Speak over your life. Use your words. Why? Because we're not playing with the enemy trying to take away our words. Because we have power in our words. And we're not giving that power to the enemy. So, okay, let me go because I got a little caught up in that one. Okay, obey what God already told you. What's the first one? Take the first step. Taking the first step produces the miracle. Speak what God said. Faith is strengthened through confession. 4, you want to move despite fear. I told you that's how you conquer fear. You do it scared. Courage grows after you take the first step. You'll feel bolder. You'll feel better. And then the last thing is you got to trust the process. Even when the process doesn't feel good, you got to trust the process. I told you when I started that business 18 years ago, that process didn't feel good because I ain't see no money going into my bank account like I wanted to see. So that process did not feel good. And so God had to humble me and put me in a position where I had to go back and trust the process. See, the enemy wants to deceive you and manipulate you and make you believe that the process isn't working. But God, come on, somebody, but God, don't you let the enemy rob you of what's rightfully yours. There is an inheritance that has your name on it. Trust the process and stop trying to stop in the middle of that process. My God. I'm going to close out with this because y'all get me stirred, okay? Y'all get me stirred up in here, all right? Faith was never meant to sit still. Faith walks. These are my closing words. Faith walks. Faith builds. Faith touches. Faith runs towards giants. We get scared when we see something bigger than us. Faith runs towards giants. And the whole time saying, I come to you in the name of the Lord. Giant. I got this, giant. Faith runs towards giants. If God said it, don't just believe it, move on it. All right. Faith is a verb. Hashtag move by faith. That's it. That's the post. That's the podcast. Because I'm telling you, the enemy wants to stop you in this season. I'm prophetically warning you. The enemy is trying to stop you, but don't let him win. You got this. Purpose is all over your life, and trust God with your purpose. All right. So I hope that blessed you. I'm going to get out of here. I got some more stuff to do. Maybe like take a video in this fabulous little, nice little spring fling maxi I got on. But make sure you tune in next week for another fabulous episode of Fab Talk with Trish M Podcast, where I give you the word, the way, and the truth, and a little bit of faith to go with, a little bit of fashion to go with that faith. All right. I love you guys. I'm excited about what God is doing, and I look forward to talking with y'all on next week. God bless y'all. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Fab Talk with Trish M. Do your girl a favor. Share this broadcast on all your social media platforms. Invite a friend to tune in. Help this podcast reach the nation. We all need Jesus, y'all. You sharing this broadcast helps me to reach the masses. If I'm blessing you, then bless your girl back. Share the broadcast. Give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. I got work to do for the King, and I need your help. I appreciate you tuning in to this segment. I'm looking forward to rocking with you on the next episode of Fab Talk with your girl, Trish M.